Hello everyone and welcome to my Royal Family official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. King Charles' new tough stance is disastrous for Harry and Meghan. According to The Sun, Prince Andrew is on the verge of being evicted from his vast grace and favor mansion, Royal Lodge, which he has called home for the last 20 years by King Charles. It was the lifelong residence of the Queen Mother, and thus the reason that staff keep finding empty bottles of cordons and Ladbrokes betting slips at the backs of cupboards. That, and her burn book, which contained only one name, Wallace. Not that Charles would evict his toxic younger brother and domestic limpet Sarah Ferguson, Duchess of York, but rather that His Majesty is planning to slash Andrew's annual $479,000 allowance, which will mean he will no longer be able to afford the vast property's running costs. Keeping up a 30-room monster of a house with a swimming pool, nearly 100 acres of grounds, and a private chapel isn't cheap. The literal translation is choo-choo. The gravy train is leaving the station, leaving the distraught Yorks behind the platform. And this is terrible news not only for anyone with a spare room, but also for Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, who haven't been doing much to endear themselves to his dear pa lately. Only last week, a source told the Daily Mail that H resents being lumped together with Andrew in the public mind as the two problem princes, when he considers the circumstances to be completely different. And that's understandable. One duke faced a civil sex abuse case and reportedly paid accuser Virginia Gifford somewhere in the neighborhood of $23 million to settle. He has always denied her claims, and the settlement came with no admission of guilt. The other duke is a man who spends his days looking out over the Pacific, lining up lucrative commercial opportunities to do some familial finger-pointing in between calling his crystal dealer. However, in this case, and only this case, the two royal spares are linked in that what is allegedly happening to Andrew here bodes ill for the Sussexes. What you must remember is what this Royal Lodge situation tells us about Charles' approach to his role as paterfamilias. I know the king is often portrayed as a slightly useless, albeit well-intentioned, upper-crust gamin who probably sleeps in a tie, but His Majesty appears to be willing to take a hard line here. The palace appears to have a new unyielding broom, or to use a cheap metaphor, there is a new sheriff on the Windsor estate. I'm sure Queen Camilla got him a special badge and everything. And it's that new tougher attitude that should have the Sussexes worried right now. The final years of the late Queen's reign were dominated by the kind of drama that felt like a bad Crown/Succession crossover event, thanks to Andrew's Newsnight Titanic of a TV interview, and then the Sussexes' Flauncy exit. While Her Majesty played hardball with her troublesome relatives, such as denying the loose cannon Sussexes the right to call themselves royal and mothballing everyone's HRAs, she was clearly in grandma mode on other occasions. Consider not one but two highly unusual personal statements she issued, referring to the Duke and Duchess as much-loved family members, or allowing Andrew to keep his title of Vice Admiral. However, the King's decision regarding Andrew and Royal Lodge indicates that he is unwilling to let family ties trump good sense when it comes to putting the royal house in order. Now don't worry, it's highly unlikely that Harry and Meghan's UK home, Frogmore Cottage, will be demolished because they reportedly pay rent on the property and have repaid the $4.7 million in sovereign grant money spent renovating it. There's also the symbolism. Charles taking away their British home would make him look like the bad dad he's often accused of being, and it would all but confirm he has no intention of ever reconciling with his son and daughter-in-law. No, where things could get dicey for Harry and Meghan is with their titles. Even before the Duke's tell-all memoir, Spare, was released this year, 44% of British people thought they should lose their Sussex titles. According to a poll conducted earlier this month by the traditionalist newspaper The Mirror, 95% of their readers wanted the gifted dukedom revoked. It would now take an act of Parliament to deprive Andrew of his Duke of York titles, or the West Coast equivalent to Edward and Wallace of their Sussex titles. However, Charles could, a la their HRAs, bully them into agreeing. It goes without saying that this could have serious consequences for their ability to make money in the future. Until now, that seemed a remote possibility, given that the monarch couldn't take such a harsh stance with the Sussexes, while Toad of Toad Hall, Andrew, was swanning around the empty golf links, still clinging to his dukedom. After all, the Sussexes may be persona non grata and have demonstrated spectacularly poor judgment on occasion, but that is not even in the same universe as taking a vacation with a convicted sex offender, let alone the other things the Duke of York has been accused of. That was back then. We now face the possibility that Charles is about to go after his brother's royal benefits and effectively demote him to second-string status. And if His Majesty is willing to punish him severely, Harry and Meghan will be without their what about Andrew safety net. If the Duke and Duchess continue to slap their titles all over their commercial projects with glee, especially projects where they are willing to unleash about his royal family like a finger-pointing real housewife on her second bottle of Pinot Grigio, His Majesty may be forced to act. According to reports coming out of London, the 74-year-old is keenly focused on ensuring the monarchy does not appear to be a bloated irrelevance. The Mail reported earlier this week that in the last few weeks, all members of the royal family have been told to tighten their belts and to expect less money from the duchy now owned by Charles than in the past. Aware of public opinion, the king is said to be eager to cut spending and slim down the monarchy. Despite the fact that the duchy funds are private, he has ordered a major review of how they are spent. Insiders say Prince Harry may add chapter to Spare paperback. Prince Harry has said he will not write a sequel to his blockbuster tell-all Spare, but there is buzz that he may pen a bonus chapter to be included in the book's paperback release. Prince Harry is already planning to add at least one new chapter to the paperback version, out later this year or early next, when the hardcover sales have ended, said an insider. Readers are eager to know Harry and his wife, Meghan Markle's feelings about the royal backlash they have suffered following the airing of their Netflix doc and the publication of Spare, the source added. Random House published the hardcover edition of the book on January 10, and Harry narrates the audio version. However, no information about a paperback edition has been released. The publisher did not respond to a request for comment, and a representative for Harry flatly denied that any new chapters would be included in a future edition, telling us via email when we asked for comment that's not true. However, the California-based Duke of Sussex has more than enough material to add to the publication. He has stated that his first draft of the book was 800 pages long, but that it was reduced to around 400 pages. As the fastest-selling nonfiction book of all time, the book has broken sales records. Harry has also stated that he will not publish a sequel out of respect for his brother, Prince William, and father, King Charles II. It could have been 2 books, he reportedly said in an interview prior to the book's release last month. The difficult part was getting things out. There are some things that have happened, especially between me and my brother, and to some extent between me and my father, that I just don't want the world to know, Harry said of the material that did not make it to print, because I doubt they will ever forgive me. Thanks for watching if you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss it.